What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld Podcast, and we're going to be talking Packers and Lions Monday Night Football to end off Week 6 in the 2019 NFL season. And the first thing that everybody's going to talk about is the blown calls, hands to the face, Trey Flowers, all that stuff like that. I know you guys seen it. It's been all over the place. I watched it. It was very, very wild. But let's talk about what really happened in this game. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to play around and act like, okay, the Lion... Look, let me just explain something. Did the refs blow some calls? Absolutely. But it wasn't all about the refs blowing calls. The Lions had a 13-point lead that they allowed the Packers to come back from. The Packers had 4 takeaways. At some point, you got to score a touchdown. You know, you can't just keep kicking field goals. Like, I don't remember the saying, but a lot of coaches that, you know, you see them get interviewed, they always say the same thing, okay? Field goals get you beat. You can't take 5 field goals. Like, bro, and then Barry Sanders is going wild on the internet. I don't even think he was tweeting for himself because, like, he's an older dude. Maybe somebody else was tweeting for him, but he's going wild. Look, at the end of the day, yes, the refs influenced this game a lot, but the Lions had more than enough opportunity to put this game away. You cannot lose this game if you're the Lions. But again, that's what it came down to, and that's what everybody's going to talk about. Remember, with the Saints and the Rams last year, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Saints can score more points. It doesn't have to come down to that blown pass interference, but I understand the outcry of, you know, it wasn't hands to the face. When you look at it, it looked like Bakhtiari was putting his hands to his face. I understand all that. But what we've grown to understand in sports is that when you leave it to the refs, more often than not, it's not going to end the way that you want it to. So when you have the opportunity to do a lot of these things, you have to get it done. And at the end of the day, like I said, the way that I look at it right now, the Lions blew a 13-point lead. They took 5 field goals. Okay, you have dudes running around doing whatever they want, and then people are getting upset with the fact that, okay, yeah, these 2 blown calls, whatever like that. But what about Aaron Jones not really going off, but then you make Jamal Williams go off? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got running backs running for over 100 yards. This is the thing that's making the Green Bay Packers so dangerous, and nobody's even really talking about that. Everybody's worried about the blown call. The Packers have a run game now. It's like a 2-back system going on over there. Like, look, people need to understand that if you allow teams with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers to stay in the game, you're asking for it. That's what you're doing. You're not going to – you got to put these guys – you got to step on a team's neck when you have the opportunity to do so. Now, was I disgusted? Because, you know, I got to be honest with you. Yes, I was. The first one, I didn't really get to see it. Like, they showed the replay, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? The refs are probably blind in both eyes. They're playing bird box. All right. The second one, I'm like, did one of these dudes bet on the game? Like, look, I can understand the frustration, you know, but again, like the play calling, certain things that go into the actual game plan. There's a lot of things that influence the way that this worked out, and it's very, very concerning to me that no matter what happens, it's the same old with the Lions. Like, you Lion fans can be like, yeah, bro, but this, but that. No, it's the same thing. Like, these things are continuously happening. Something is wrong because you can't allow this to happen. But again, it's sort of like the Dallas Cowboys. I don't mean to pile on to the Dallas Cowboys, but the Dallas Cowboys can be favored to win a game, right? Everything can be going the right way, and they go out and lose. And then Cowboy fans will find a reason for why they lost the game instead of saying they just lost the game. It's just certain teams that you have built-in excuses for. And this can't continue to go on. If the Lions, you know, defensively, the way that they played great, all that good stuff, they have to find ways to win games in these situations. And like every game, like if you look at a lot of the major games in all sports, even you go to basketball, there's a lot of blown calls that, you know, people didn't get to go where they were supposed to go. If you allow the refs to be the influence in the game and you don't take advantage of every single opportunity, it's not always certain that everything is going to fall in your favor. And that's just the way that it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I don't want to make it seem like I've become accustomed to the refs influencing the games too much. That's why I'm like numb to it. But I had a feeling when the Packers started, like, you know, getting a little run here, a little run there, you know, you saw that, you know, the rushing yards go, like, I was looking at it like, okay, this dude, Jamal Williams, like, he doing whatever he wants. Like, okay, I already see where this is going. This is what I'm trying to explain, right? You kind of felt it. And all you Lions fans that are watching this video or listening to the podcast, you guys felt it. You knew exactly what was going to happen. And you know why? Because you guys are used to it. And because you're used to it, the refs are like, you know what? These dudes are coming out here kicking 5 field goals, right? You guys want to kick five field goals? All right, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is what you guys want to do, I got you. Okay, you got a 13-point lead. You're allowing these dudes to come back. All right, I got you. You ever hear like these commentators say the refs themselves with the human element, they get tired of excuses and they get tired of things that people do, and then they look for calls? I'm not saying that this is fair. By no way am I justifying the refs. I think the refs did not do a good job. But again, this is history and the way that we've always seen it. So the rage and everything like that, it's the same exact thing that always happens. Whenever you don't close the door or hold the door, Game of Thrones, if you guys know the reference, you allow these players to do these things, and the momentum is going to shift the way that we watched it shift, and the refs are just going to let it happen. That's typically what happens in these games. So now, let's break it down. Why did this actually happen? Okay, can we blame Coach Pencil? Okay, can we blame the play calling for not getting in the end zone? Can we start to look at certain aspects with the Lions and just say, you know what, this is what they do? Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. What was going on? Okay, Stafford, many opportunities to make key throws. I think that were not thrown properly. Usual stuff. Play calls that didn't make any sense throughout, down the stretch when they had the opportunity to go ahead and close it out. What else we got? The run game. Kerryon Johnson, what are you doing? Okay, bro, you got no run game? All right, cool. So look, let me get this straight, right? You got 0 run game. You're running around with like 43 yards, being a total bum, and you can't get key third downs. So you're getting off the field. You give up 4 takeaways, okay? And then now you want to say the refs is why you lost the game. See, people have to understand and acknowledge that fact. When you're going to start getting into the thing where it's like, all right, you want to try to, compete for the NFC North, you want to do all this stuff, you're going to have to play like that. And again, you know what the key thing is? It's down the stretch. It doesn't matter what you're doing in the first 3 quarters. You remember Tim Tebow? Like, a lot of people don't give him his respect, but you remember what he used to do in the 4th quarters? I know that he wasn't a great quarterback throughout the entirety of the game, but what did he do down the stretch? Didn't he get Denver that playoff win against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like, people need to down the stretch, you got to be able to make plays. And that didn't happen. That wasn't what happened, right? Now, look, you guys are going to still say, all right, but look, Gmias, what are you talking about, bro? Those calls completely changed the game. Look, there's no response that I have to you guys other than the fact that why were those plays so influential on the game? Why did the Lions allow the Packers to go ahead and move the ball the way that they did? Why did they give up turnovers? Why did they only get field goals 5 times? Okay, if you kick 5 field goals in a game, usually you're going to lose that game if you play somebody that can do anything. Look at the history of the game. You take 5 field goals in any game, go and look it up, and then tell me if a team has like anybody that's good on offense, if you're going to still win that game. 7 is always going to beat 3 unless they change mathematics. So look at, like I said, I personally, I was very disgusted. Okay, I don't want you guys to make it seem like, oh yeah, bro, this guy, he just going crazy on the Lions because, they lose all the time. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not going back to the fact that they went 0-16 with Calvin Johnson on that team. I think he was, but I'm not going back to that fact. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is this. It's the same old, bro. It's the same thing. And then people keep making excuses. And in this case, they do have a valid excuse, the same way I believe that the Saints do. That was a blown call. But you have the time to make plays. You have the time to score early in the game. And you should not allow the refs to be able to just take it over because the ref is like, yo, bro, I put money on that. Like, what? Hold on, wait, what? It's craziness. And then the fact that they have instant replay, and then they could go back and look at it and see if it's the right call, and they still didn't do that. It's a lot of things, and I understand the rage. And Barry Sanders is like, yo, bro, I don't know what I'm doing, but here, take my phone and tweet this out. It is what it is. Bottom line is, it was a very, very, nip-tuck game. It came down to the end where, 23-22. I don't know what to say other than the fact that you can't kick 5 field goals and win in the NFL. I don't know what to say about it, man. It is. So you guys are going to let me have it. Oh, the refs. Let me know. Tell me all about the refs. But tell me also about the opportunities that they had to win that game and put it away very, very early. I want to thank you guys for watching. Definitely go ahead and subscribe. We will be back with more NFL podcasts coming very, very soon. Until next time. One love.